أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردن الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها هبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلك منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولهم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله وأطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لتمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسكناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مزيا ولا يرجعون ومن نؤمره ننخسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وزللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناهم من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول لهم كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون
और मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलावत नाना तेरी नवासी आई है घर लुटा के ज़ैनब ये कह रही थी रोज़े पे मुस्तफ़ा के انسانیت کی راہیں ڈھونڈے گی دنیا جن سے بکھرے تھے وہ ستارے راہوں میں کربلا کے ہاتھوں سے منہ چھپا کے روتی تھی فوج آدھا بے شیر ہنس رہے تھے نہ گلے لگا کے حسرت یہی تھی باقی لیلا کے دل میں اکبر میدان میں بیجتی ہے دلہا تجھے بنا کے کوفے کی عورتوں نے خوشیاں بری منائی شہزادیاں آج گزرے بالوں سے منہ چھپا کے شعلوں میں جل رہے تھے اہل حرم کے خیمے شبیر سو رہے تھے سجدے میں سر کٹا کے اہل حرم تڑپ کر اونٹوں سے گر پڑے تھے لاشیں پڑے تھے دیکھے راہوں میں کربلا کے ماں قید ہو کے اصغر جاتی ہوں اب مدینہ سو جاؤ بس اکیلے سونپا تجھے خدا کو میرے غریب بچے لے لو سلام آخر جاتی ہوں میں مدینہ چہلم تیرا منا کے نانا تیری نواسی آئی ہے گر لٹا کے زینب یہ کہہ رہی تھی روضے پہ مصطفیٰ کے محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. زہر دگا سے مارا فرزند مصطفیٰ کو، زہر دگا سے مارا فرزند مصطفیٰ کو، نالا کیا نبی کو زہرا و مرتضیٰ کو، زہر دگا سے مارا. افسوس بے کسی میں پردیس میں سفر میں، افسوس بے کسی میں پردیس میں سفر میں، مہماں بلا کے مارا مامون نے رضا کو، مہماں بنا کے مارا مامون نے رضا کو، زہر دگا سے مارا فرزند مصطفیٰ کو. ہے منتظر وطن میں اہل و عیال مولا، ہے منتظر وطن میں اہل و عیال مولا، ایک بار منہ دکھا لو سن لو میری صدا کو، ایک بار منہ دکھا لو سن لو میری صدا کو، زہر دگا سے مارا فرزند مصطفیٰ کو. ملنے چلی ہے تم سے مولا بہن تمہاری، ملنے چلی ہے تم سے مولا بہن تمہاری، ملنے کے بعد کہنا لبیک تم قضا کو، ملنے کے بعد کہنا لبیک تم قضا کو، زہر دگا سے مارا فرزند مصطفیٰ کو. سرور کے رونے والے ہمراہ تھے سفر میں، सरवर के रोने वाले हमराह थे सफर में, जग से चले रिजा जब कोई न था बुका को, जग से चला रिजा जब कोई न था बुका को, ज़हर दगा से मारा फर्जंद मुस्तफा को, नाला किया नबी को ज़हरा मुर्तज़ा को। सलवात पढ़िए।
Sayyid Bilal, Rizvi, Sheikh Mushtaba Khalik, respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Surah Al-Fatiha is requested for the Salih Sawab of Marhumin listed on the screen and for all Marhumin. Al-Fatiha. Aman Yujibu is requested for the names listed on the screen and for all those in need here and elsewhere. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mustara iza dahu wa yakshifu su. Amma yujibu al-mustara iza dahu wa yakshifu su. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. اللهم صل. Children's workshops are being held tonight for boys ages 3 to 9 and girls ages 3 to 12, starting after Maghrib and Salat. Boys ages 9 should go to Serena 1 classroom. There will be no workshop for boys ages 10 to 12. Male teacher volunteers are needed. Please help us instill the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet, and his Ahlul Bayt by signing up to teach 5 classes for the entire year. Donation boxes have been placed in the ladies and gents side for the collection of Niyaz funds. Once sufficient funds are available, they will be utilized towards Niyaz during any upcoming programs. At this time, with a very loud salawat, I would like to request Sayyid Bilal to recite tonight's madlis. By Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
رحم الله من قرأ سورة الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على إمام القبلتين ونبي الحرمين وأفضل الثقلين وجد الحسن والحسين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الصادقين والذين ذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وزد وبارك على صاحب الدعوة النبوية والصولة الحيدرية والعصمة الفاطمية والحلم الحسنية والشجاعة الحسينية والعبادة السجادية والمعاطر الباقرية والآثار الجعفرية والعلوم الكاذمية والحجج الردبية والجود الثقبي والنكابة النكبية والهيبة العسكرية والغيبة الإلهية. اللهم عجل فرجه وسهل مخرجه. أما بعد، فقد قال الإمام علي بن موسى الرضا صلوات الله وسلامه عليه: رحم الله عبدا أحيا أمرنا. صدق مولانا الإمام علي بن موسى الرضا. For the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the love of Fatima al-Zahra, salamullahi alayha, a second salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the hastening of the reappearance of the master of our time, a third salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Tonight we've gathered in the remembrance of our eighth Imam, Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. This is that Imam whom in the traditions was called Gharibul Ghuraba, the loneliest of the alone. People, they often ask the question that why is it that the moment the musibah of Ahlul Bayt is recited, particularly the musibah of Imam al-Hussein, the hearts they connect at that moment. We've heard the musibah year in and year out. We've heard it hundreds of times in our life. But despite that fact, the hearts they connect. Now the answer to this question is a lengthy discussion. But we have one tradition which uses this word gharib when it says gharibun yabki ala gharibin. The tradition, it says that only a gharib will cry over someone who is gharib. You know, in Arabic, gharib, it means to be lonely. It's saying that a person who feels loneliness within his heart, only he'll cry over somebody who is lonely. That many of us, we want somebody to understand our problems, to understand our inner state, to understand our challenges. One of the reasons we find comfort at the door of Ahlul Bayt is because this is that household that every difficulty they understood, every difficulty we face they understand. You know, Sayyid al-Shuhada, that you want to understand why the tears they fall for Hussein based on this tradition. It's stated on the night before Ashura, Imam al-Hussein, he takes his companion by the name of Hilal. He says, "Oh Hilal, come with me." When Hilal, he walks with the Imam, he says, "Oh Hilal, now leave me so I can cry in my loneliness at this moment." That if you want to understand the ghurba of the Imam, a point it came on the day of Ashura, that Hussein, he looked at the dead bodies of his companions, He began to speak to them one by one. He would say, Ya Habib ibn Madahir, wa ya Muslim ibn al-Awsaja, wa ya Zuhair ibn al-Qain, Ya Abtal al-Safa, wa ya Fursan al-Hijah. He says, O Habib, O Zuhair, O Muslim, O valiant fighters, O brave warriors, why is it that I call upon you but you don't reply to me? But despite this ghurba of Sayyid al-Shuhada, it wasn't Imam al-Hussein who was called Gharib al-Ghuraba. That if there is anyone from amongst the Imams who was titled the loneliest of the alone, it was Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha. Now the question is that why this Imam? Why Imam al-Ridha out of all of the Imams? Without a doubt, one reality is that this Imam, he left Medina, he left his son, to the extent that Al-Muhawil al-Sijistani, he narrates, that when Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha was leaving Medina, he would walk to the grave of Rasulullah, he would walk away from the grave of Rasulullah. When I would look closer, I would see that there were tears within his eyes. I said to him, Ya Yabna Rasulullah, O grandson of the Prophet, Ma'mun has invited you. This is an occasion of happiness. The Imam says, O Muhawil, this is my exile from Medina. But no, one of the reasons why this Imam at one level is called Gharib al-Ghuraba is that when you look at the graves of each of the A'imma, you find everyone is buried by someone. That in Baqi there are multiple graves. Amir al-Mu'mineen is buried by Adam and Nuh. In Kadman there are two Imams. In Samara there are two Imams. By Sayyid al-Shuhada is Abbas and Ali Akbar. But there's one lonely grave in Khurasan. And that is the grave of Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha. But another level as to why he's called Gharib al-Ghuraba, you find there is a tradition of Imam Muhammad al-Jawad which states that when it comes to the other Imams, yazuruhum khasatan wa amma, that the general Shia and the specific, the special ones, they do their ziyarah. But when you read the ziyarah of Imam al-Ridha, you say, Mawlaya, anta alladhi la yazuruka illa al-khawas min al-Shia. That, oh my master, only the special from amongst the Shia, they do your ziyarah. When you look at Islamic history, you find there were many sects of the Shia. You find the Ismailiyah, they reached the 6th Imam. You find the Waqifiyah, they stop at the 7th Imam. You find the Zaydiyah, but you find anyone who reached Imam al-Ridha, he reached the 12th Imam. The Imams before Imam al-Ridha, you find all of these Amma, all of these other sects, they would do the ziyarah of the previous Imams. That when you go to Najaf and Karbala, you find Ismailis over there, you find Bohras over there, you find Zaydis over there, but you find the one who believes in the Imamat of the 8th, he believes in the Imamat of the 12th. And that's why the subject of analysis tonight is examining the life of Imam al-Ridha and examining its relevance towards contemporary society. Because when you look within the world today, you find today's world is a global village. That you may have neighbors who are Christian and you may have neighbors who are Jewish. You may have co-workers who are Hindu, you may have co-workers who are atheists. That in today's world, thought and dialogue is something which is common. In the time period of Imam al-Ridha, you find the same reality was there. That when Ma'mun, he establishes Darul Hikmah, the house of wisdom, you find there were texts that were translated from Roman and Greek. There were texts which were brought in from Cyprus, that there would be an exchange of thought, there would be an exchange of dialogue. In that time period, Imam al-Ridha, he would discuss with different groups. It's stated that within the court of Ma'mun, when there were Christians and Jewish individuals, Imam al-Ridha, the historians, they write he answered 20,000 questions in the court of Ma'mun. Only in the court of Ma'mun, 20,000 questions. This doesn't include his discussions in Kufa and Basra, that the Imam would give so many proofs for his school of thought, that within the hadith we have the concept of Hujajur Radawiyah, that the proofs of Imam al-Ridha. And this is that Imam who would say, that when you have the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam towards you, you don't have to do anything except spread that message, and then that message will do the rest. You know the tradition of the Imam, which I recited at the beginning of the majlis. The tradition, it says, Rahimallahu abdan ahya amrana. That may Allah have mercy upon that individual who enlivens our affairs. The narrator, he says to the Imam that how do we enliven your affairs? The Imam, he says, يَتَعَلَّمُ عُلُومَنَا, that learn our knowledge and our sciences. وَيُعَلِّمُهَا النَّاسَ, and teach it towards the people. فَإِنَّ النَّاسِ لَوْ عَلِمُوا مَحَاسِنَ كَلَامِنَا لَاتَّبَعُونَا. He says that if the people, they knew the beauty of our narrations, they would follow us, Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. That you spread their message. And once you spread their message, you let their hadith do the trick. And this is why tonight, when we examine this biography of the Imam, we'll examine it in a number of stages. From the first level, I'll look at who the mother of the Imam was. From the second level, I'll examine the attributes of this Imam. From the third level, I'll look at in which way did he move from Medina towards Khurasan. Number 4, I'll mention some of the debates of the Imam in the court of Ma'mun. From the 5th level, I'll mention that tradition of the Imam to Rayhan ibn Shabib, where he emphasized the mourning of his grandfather Hussein. And number 6, I'll examine in which way did the Imam encourage the poets to recite the virtues of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. You know, whenever you have a discussion of any personality, an historical principle of analysis is that you examine the environment within which the person he would grow up in. This is that Imam, he was brought up in the land of Medina. This is that Imam, his father was an infallible Imam. But the question it comes up is that who was the mother of Imam al-Ridha? You see, each of the mothers of the A'imma had a great position. Don't you say in Ziyaratul Waritha, Ashhadu annaka kunta nuran fil aslab al-shamikha wal arham al-mutahara. لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها. That you say, you, O Hussein, were a light which was in the most splendid of loins. That you were in the most purified of wombs. Those wombs whom the impurities, the ignorance, they didn't touch that. You know, if there was no other line in the praises of the mothers of the Imams except for this line, even this would be sufficient. You know, these Imams, if the most pure of ladies wasn't in Medina, they would go and find them. They would bring them from Persia, for example. They would bring them from Rome, for example. They would bring them from Abyssinia, for example. They would bring them from Morocco, for example. The Imams would show that the barometer of judging a person is not the color of their skin. The barometer of judging a person is the Quranic barometer. When the Quran, it says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. That the most honorable in front of you is the one who is the most God's conscious. That who is the mother of this Imam. You know, the traditions, they differ about the name of the mother of Imam al-Ridha. You find Shaykh al-Mufid would write that her name is Najma. The hadith from Biharul Anwar says her name is Arwa. But you find some of the traditions, they say her name was Tuqtam. Now the traditions, they differ where she was from. you find that they state she was from Morocco. But the tradition of Uyun Akhbar al-Ridha, it states that she was the servant of Hamida, the mother of Imam al-Sadiq. But no, there is another tradition which is found in more sources. It's found in Uyun Akhbar al-Ridha. It's found in Al-Kafi. And it's found in Kashf al-Ghumma. This tradition, it states that one day Imam Musa al-Qadim salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, that Imam al-Qadim, he goes with his companion, he says to his companion, that haven't the people of Morocco come? The companion says, yes, they've come, the people of Maghrib. The Imam says, let's see who they've brought with them. When they go towards the man, he brings out 9 slave girls in front of the Imam. The Imam says, is there anyone else with you? It's as if the Imam was anticipating someone. You find he says, there's one other slave girl. She's ill at this moment, but I won't sell her towards you. The Imam says, very well. When the Imam, he goes back with his companion, he says to his companion, go and purchase that slave girl and pay that man whatever he asks for. You find the man, he goes back. He says, I'll give you whatever you want for that slave girl. They agree upon a price. When he was giving him that slave girl, he says, oh man, I have one question for you. Who was that individual who came with you? He says that is that man from Banu Hashim. He was from amongst the best of Banu Hashim. He says, let me tell you a story about this slave girl. When we were bringing this girl from Morocco, we heard the women of the Christians and the Jews saying that don't take this slave girl for yourself, for she will give birth to the best of God's creation. So she deserves to be with the best of God's creation. That this is the reality of the mother of the Imam. That which Imam? You know, this is that Imam. He has virtue after virtue. But one of the virtues of the Imam mentioned within the hadith is that this is that Imam was called Imam al-Ra'uf. This is that Imam who is the Imam of kindness. You know, when Ma'mun, he makes Imam al-Ridha his heir apparent, the Imam, he was in a position of hierarchy. But the Imam, he wouldn't make anyone else do his tasks. That his servants, he wouldn't ask them to do anything. He would do those tasks by himself. You know, in that time period, the royalty, they would take a bath within their palaces. But everyone else, they would go towards the public bath. Imam al-Ridha, he goes towards the public bath. At that point, there was a soldier over there. He says, oh man, pour water upon me. The Imam begins to pour water upon him. He begins to scrub his back. As Imam al-Ridha is doing this, somebody else, he recognizes the Imam. He says to that soldier, oh man, what have you done? This is the son of the daughter of the Prophet. This is the heir apparent to Ma'mun. The man, he begins to worry. He begins to apologize to Imam al-Ridha. But the humility of the Imam, he says, oh man, I was doing something in which I was serving the creation of Allah. That this is the kindness of Imam al-Ridha. You know, another man, he says that I was in debt. I had nowhere to go. So I went to the house of Imam al-Ridha. I said, oh master, can you give me something? The Imam says, wait over here. He says it was the time of Ramadan. I was fasting. I was hungry. I waited until the time of Maghrib. I began to think, will the Imam come or has he left me over here? He says, as the time of Maghrib it came, I saw Imam al-Ridha walking to his house. As he was walking to his house, the poor of Medina, they surrounded all around him. That he was giving towards each of them, he enters his house. After he entered his house, his servant comes out. He calls me in. The Imam says, are you hungry? He gives me food and I break my fast. After that, he says to me, look under your pillow. When I looked under my pillow, there were 48 dinar. I was surprised at that moment. Because my debt, it was only 28 dinar. I didn't tell the Imam how much I needed. As I was looking through those 28 coins, on the last coin there was an inscription. That inscription, it said, "Oh man, we know that your debt is only 28 dinars. The 28 are covered, the rest of the 20 is from our generosity." You know, a man, he went towards Imam al-Ridha. A man, he goes towards Imam al-Ridha. He says, "Oh Imam, give me according to your generosity." The Imam says, "If it's according to my generosity, I won't be able to give it." Meaning, even if I give away everything, it doesn't represent my generosity. The man, he changes his wording. He says, "Oh Imam, give me according to my generosity." Then the Imam, he gives him. You know, this is that Imam. Alongside Imam al-Ra'uf, he was called the Alim of Ali Muhammad. He was called the scholar of Ali Muhammad. You know, this isn't something which just the ulama mention. Imam Musa al-Kadhim, when he was giving his wasiyah towards the rest of his children, he said to them, "Hada akhukum, this is your brother. Listen to him, for he is the alim of Ali Muhammad." You know, the question comes up, is that why is Imam as-Sadiq not the alim of Ali Muhammad? Ali ibn Abi Talib said, "Saluni, Saluni, ask me before you lose me." Why is Amir al-Mu'mineen not the alim of Ali Muhammad? You know, each of these traits the Imams they have, they are manifested according to the time and the place an individual is in. Due to the historical circumstances in the court of Ma'mun, where the Imam, he answers 20,000 questions, he was called the alim of Ali Muhammad. You know, if you want one example, in the court of Ma'mun, a man who was an atheist by the name of Umran as-Sabi, he comes towards the Imam. The Imam, he looks at him. He says to him, "Oh Umran, don't come to deceive the people." He places his head down. He says, "Oh Yabna Rasulullah, I have come to gain knowledge." The Imam says, "What is your question?" He says, "How do I recognize Allah?" The Imam says, "It's simple. You recognize Allah through other than Allah." You know, every single atom, the Imam would say in that discussion, he says every single atom, it indicates the existence of the Creator. You know, if we are to ponder over the essence of Allah with our minds which are limited, and with our limited minds we're trying to comprehend the infinite reality, you find we'll fall short. So the Imam would say everything within this world, it indicates that there is a Creator. You know, oftentimes people, they discuss the environmental crisis today. That why is there an environmental crisis? You know, when you look at the Quran, and the Quran, it speaks about the mountains and the rivers and this earth. It describes them by using the word ayat and signs. When you look at the verses of the verses of the Quran are called ayat also. This goes to show that the fundamental reason we're having this crisis is that man of today doesn't view this world as a sign of Allah, doesn't view it as a manifestation of the attributes of Allah. You find these are discussions which were found within the teachings of Imam al-Ridha. But you know, a point it came that while the Imam was in Medina, Ma'mun, he calls the Imam towards Khurasan and he makes him his heir apparent. Now, why did Ma'mun do this? One of the reasons why Ma'mun, he did this, is that there were many uprisings in the Iranian bloc of that time. And many of these uprisings were from the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So Ma'mun, he wanted to quell, he wanted to stop these uprisings. So he said the best way to do this is that I will pretend to be Shia, and I will make Imam al-Ridha my heir apparent. Imam al-Ridha, when he knew he didn't have a choice, he said, "I'll accept this position with 3 conditions. The first condition is that I will not pass a judgment." The second condition is that I will not appoint anyone to office. The third condition is that I won't remove anyone from office. You know, if I was a judge, and I said to you, I am a judge, but I won't pass any rulings, you would say, what is the point of you being a judge? The Imam is showing, although I am forced to accept this position, I am disassociating myself from Ma'mun and the rulership of Ma'mun. So you find Ma'mun, he moves the Imam towards Khurasan from Medina, but he gives very specific instructions. He says, don't take this man from the main route, for anyone who speaks to him becomes his follower. And don't allow anyone to see his face. Cover the camel which he is upon, for anyone who sees him wants to speak towards him. You know, as the Imam is going towards Khurasan, they passed through the city of Nishapur. It's stated that 24,000 individuals with paper within their hand, with pens within their hand, they gathered by the Imam. That each of them, they would try to grasp the rein to the camel of the Imam. Each of them would try to see the face of the Imam. You know, all of them, they gathered. They said, Yabna Rasulallah, can you give us one hadith? You know, history is ironic, isn't it? That the grandfather of the Imam was denied pen and paper upon his deathbed. Now a day had came. 24,000 individuals with pen and paper within their hand, they gathered in front of Imam al-Ridha. The Imam, he opens his curtain. Everyone sees the face of the Imam. The Imam, he says, I heard my father Musa al-Kadhim narrate from his father Ja'far al-Sadiq, narrate from his father Muhammad al-Baqir, who narrated from his father Zain al-Abidin, who narrated from his father Imam al-Hussein, who narrated from his brother Imam al-Hassan, who narrated from his father Ali ibn Abi Talib, who narrated from Rasulullah. That Rasulullah, he says, that Jibreel descended upon me and stated towards me that Allah, he states, La ilaha illallah hisni, faman dakhala hisni amina min adabi. That Allah, he says, that La ilaha illallah is my fortress. The one who enters my fortress, he is safe from my punishment. You know, everyone, they begin to think that's it. La ilaha illallah. The Imam, he closes his curtain. After the camel, it goes a few steps. The Imam, he opens the curtain again. He says, Bishurutiha wa ana min shurutiha. He says, La ilaha illallah has conditions. And I am one of the conditions of La ilaha illallah. In the sense that imamat is of the command of Allah. The one who rejects the Imam has rejected that commandment of Allah. But you know, the Imam is going to show that today you have gathered with pen and paper. My grandfather was denied pen and paper. Right now I will show you what my grandfather, he wanted to write. He wanted to write that Ali was the condition of La ilaha illallah. Whether it's Ali ibn Abi Talib or it's Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha. For when Islam is in danger, it is Ali who comes to the help of Islam. You know, Ahmad bin Hanbal would state that if you recite the chain of this hadith, that golden chain as it's called, if you recite it over somebody who is suffering from insanity, they will be cured. That because everyone within this chain is infallible. So the Imam, he reaches the court of Ma'mun. You know, when the Imam gets to the court of Ma'mun, the servants of Ma'mun, they say that we won't stand up for this man. We won't show respect towards this man. The Imam, he walks into that courtyard. The grandeur and the jalal upon the face of the Imam was such that each of them, without realizing, they stood in the respect of the Imam. The next day the Imam comes to the courtyard. They said, okay, we stood up for him. But we won't open the curtain for this man when he walks in. Imam al-Ridha, he walks to that courtyard. The moment he walks to the entrance of the courtyard, a gust of wind, it comes, it opens the door. When he walks past it, a gust of wind, it comes, it closes the door. Those servants, they begin to say that we should serve this man, for this is that man whom Allah is the helper of this man. This is Imam al-Ridha. You know Ma'mun, he had this jealousy towards the Imam. And Ma'mun, he knew it was within the theology of the Shia that the Imam should be able to answer every single question. For the Imam is the most knowledgeable of the creation at that time. So you know what Ma'mun would do? He would gather the scholars of different religions. He would call Jatalik, the head of the Catholics. He would call Ra'sul Jalut, the high rabbi. He would call Nistas al-Rumi, the Roman medical physician. He would call the head of the Hindus, the head of the Zoroastrians. He would say to them that tomorrow my cousin Ali al-Ridha will come. When he comes, I want you to debate him. And I want you to defeat him in those debates. You know, when Ma'mun on that day, he called Imam al-Ridha, the person who he sent was a Shia. He was a lover of the Imam. His name was Nofali. And this is found in Kitab al-Tawheed. It's found in Uyun Akhbar al-Ridha. If you want to go and read the debates for yourself. The Imam, he looks at Nofali. He says, "Oh Nofali, what's wrong? There's worry upon your face." Nofali, he says, "Oh Imam, I'm worried for you. Ma'mun has set a shaky foundation." The Imam says, in which way is the foundation shaky? He says, Ma'mun, he didn't invite scholars to the courtyard. For a scholar, he accepts reality when he sees it in front of him. An alim, he accepts the truth. But what he has invited are debaters. If you say to them that Allah is one, they'll twist your words. If you say to them Muhammad is the messenger, they'll twist your words. The Imam, he looks at Nofali. He says, "Oh Nofali, are you worried about my knowledge?" He says, "Nofali, remember to look at the face of Ma'mun. At that moment when I answer the Christians from the Bible, and I answer the Jews from the Torah, and I answer the people of the Zabur from the Zabur, and I answer the Zoroastrians in Persian, and I answer the Romans in Latin, at that moment, look at the face of Ma'mun." The Imam, he goes towards that courtyard. When he enters the courtyard, Ma'mun, he says to Jatalik, the head of the Christians, that asked this man a question. Jatalik, he says, "Oh Ma'mun, how can I discuss a man who doesn't believe in my book? I am a Christian." Imam al-Ridha, he says that if we discuss based upon the Injil and the Torah, would you accept it? He says, "This is my book, of course I would accept it." The man, he says to Imam al-Ridha, that what do you think of Isa and the message of Isa? The Imam, he says, "I accept the prophethood of Isa, but I don't accept any Isa who did not believe in the final messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi." You find at that point the Christian, he says, that within your religion you require witnesses. And a witness cannot be involved, meaning a witness must be outside of your faith. The Imam, he says, "What do you think of John ad-Dailami, al-Yuhanna ad-Dailami?" You find he replies by saying that this is a man whom not only Jesus loved him, but Maryam loved him as well. The Imam says, "Isn't it written within the Bible that al-Yuhanna ad-Dailami said that Masih, he states that a final prophet will come?" He says, this is written. At that point, the Imam, he turns to Nastasa Rumi. He says, oh Nastasa Rumi, haven't you memorized 1/3 of the Bible? He says, yes, I memorized it. The Imam, he says, I will recite and you tell me how I'm reciting it. The Imam, he was reciting the Bible. Nastasa Rumi, he says, you recite it better than we recite it. You find after that, the Imam, he looks towards Jatalik. He says, Jatalik, we believe in Isa. But Isa, he had certain shortcomings. He wouldn't pray and fast as much as he should have. At that point, Jatalik, the Christian, he stands up. He says, I thought you were a scholar of the Muslims. How dare you say that Isa had shortcomings in prayer and fasting? The Imam, he says that if he prayed and he fasted, who was he praying to and who was he fasting for? You find Jatalik, he goes silent. At that point, the Imam, he says, why do you accept Isa as a creator? He says, because Isa would bring the dead back to life, he would cure the leper. He says towards them, then by that logic, everyone who does this must be a Lord. That it's written that Al-Yas'a, Elijah would bring the dead back to life. Why don't you also take Elijah as a creator? It's stated that Hizkeel, Ezekiel brought 35 people back to life. Why don't you take Ezekiel as a creator? It's stated that Ibrahim, he cut 4 birds. He called all of them, they came. Why not Ibrahim? It's stated that Musa, that 70 people, they said, show me your Lord. At that moment, a thunderbolt, it came. All 70, they died, they came back to life. Why don't you take them as well? He goes silent. After that, the Imam, he turns towards Rasul Jalut, the head rabbi. He says towards him that why don't you accept Isa and the Prophet Muhammad after Musa? He says it's because Musa, he showed miracles. The Imam says, what miracles did he show? He had the staff which would become a snake. He had that luminous hand. You find after that the Imam, he says that Isa showed greater miracles. He would bring the dead back to life. He would cure the blind. He says Rasulullah also showed miracles. You know, Allam al-Majlisi in Haqqul Yaqeen, he writes that there were 24 miracles associated just with the body of Rasulullah. It's stated that wherever Rasulullah would go, there would be light and nur upon the face of the Prophet. You know, one of the wives of the Prophet, she says, that needle which we would lose in the daytime, and we wouldn't be able to find it by the light of the sun, the moment the Prophet would come home at night, based upon the light from his forehead, we would be able to find that needle. You know, I'll give you one line. For a man on the night of Hijrah to sleep on the bed of the Prophet, and for the kuffar of Quraysh to be confused whether this is Muhammad or someone else, and they not know who it is, that man must have the same light coming from his forehead, otherwise they would recognize it's a different individual. So the Imam al-Ridha, he says that the Anbiya afterwards, they showed miracles. He replies by saying, we didn't see their miracles. The Imam says, did you see the miracle of Musa yourself? Meaning he wasn't alive within that time period. You find after that the Imam says that within the Old Testament it is written that Allah will manifest himself on Mount Sinai. Then he'll manifest himself on Jabal al-Sa'ir. Then he'll manifest himself on Jabal al-Farhan. The first is Musa. The second Jabal al-Sa'ir is Isa. And Farhan is that mountain range in Makkah where there is a cave by the name of Hira where Rasulullah would go. You find debate after debate. But a point it came where Ma'mun, he decides to poison Imam al-Ridha. You know, this is that Imam that despite his own difficulties, he would remember his grandfather Hussein. You know, it's stated that it was the day of the 1st of Muharram. The Imam was seen crying. At that point, a companion by the name of Rayhan ibn Shabib, he says, "Oh my master, why are you crying?" The Imam says, "Oh Yabna Shabib, do you not know the moon of Muharram has been sighted?" Then he says to him, "Yabna Shabib, in kunta bakiyan li shay'in fabki lil Husayn ibn Ali, fa innahu dhubiha kama yudbahu al-kabsh." You know what Imam al-Ridha, he says? He says, "O son of Shabib, if you ever want to cry, whatever it may be your trials, it may be your broken heart. Whenever you want to cry, cry over my grandfather Hussein. For my grandfather was slaughtered in a way a sheep is slaughtered." But I say, "O Imam al-Ridha, when you slaughter a sheep, you give water towards that sheep. When you slaughter a sheep, you sharpen the sword. When you slaughter a sheep, you make sure no other animals are watching. But what did they do to your grandfather Hussein? That neither was he given water, neither was their sword sharpened. At 70 paces, his sister Zainab would watch as shimmer would be on the chest of Hussein." You know, this Imam, he would also encourage the poets to recite the musibah of his grandfather. You know, it's stated one day, Di'bal al-Khuzai goes in front of the Imam. He begins to recite poetry. You know what the poetry of Di'bal was? Di'bal, he says, "Afatimu yabnat al-khayr qumi wandubi nujumu samawatin bi'ardi falati." You know what Di'bal would say? Di'bal would say, "O Fatima, stand and cry. Look at your stars upon the desert plains lying in Karbala." Then Di'bal would say, وَقُبُورٌ بِكُوفَانٍ وَأُخْرَى بِفَخٍ نَالَهَا الصَّلَوَاتِ. He would say, there is a grave in Kufa and there is a grave in Baghdad. وَقَبْرٌ بِبَغْدَادٍ لِنَفْسٍ زَكِيَّةٍ. He would give all of the graves. Imam al-Ridha, he says, "Oh Di'bal, can I add to your poetry? Can I finish your qasida?" Di'bal, he says, "Oh Imam, what do you want to write?" You know what the Imam, he says? He says, وَقَبْرٌ مِتُوسٍ يَا لَهَا مِن مُصِيبَةٍ. The Imam, he says that there will be a grave in Tus. The musibah of that grave will be great. Di'bal, he says, "Oh Imam, which grave is that?" The Imam, he says, "Oh Di'bal, that is my grave, the grave of Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha." You know, as the Imam was saying this, it stated one of the companions of the Imam, he comes. He says, "Oh master, your sister Ma'suma has fallen on the ground." I say, "Oh Lady Fatima, oh Ma'suma, you only heard about your brother. I send my salams upon Zainab, who would watch as what would happen to her brother Hussein." You know, a point had come. Ma'mun, he invited Imam al-Ridha to his courtyard. The Imam, he knew that this was his final visit. He says to his companion Abul Salt, he says, "Ya Aba Salt, when I leave the court of Ma'mun, if my Aba is on my shoulders, speak towards me. But if my Aba is covering my head, you know I've been poisoned." You know, when he goes towards that courtyard, Ma'mun, he places poisoned grapes in front of the Imam. The Imam, he didn't want to eat from that. But they say that if you don't eat, we'll put the sword upon your your neck. The Imam, he ate the poison grapes. If you want to understand the pain which was going through the body of the Imam, you know the house of the Imam would be in front of the palace of Ma'mun. To get from the palace of Ma'mun to the house of the Imam was only a few-minute walk. You know the traditions they state. Within that walk, 40 times Imam al-Ridha would sit on the ground from the bed. 40 times the Imam was upon his deathbed. He says, "Oh Abul Salt, remove the mattress from under me." Abul Salt, he says, "Oh my master, you are going through pain at this moment. Why do you want this?" The Imam says, "Oh Abul Salt, for a moment I want to feel the pain of my grandfather Hussein as his body is laid on the plains of Karbala." Imam al-Ridha, he reaches his final moments. As he reaches his final moments, a man, he enters through the door. Abul Salt, he says, "Oh man, who are you?" He says, "I am Muhammad al-Jawad." Abul Salt says, "Oh Muhammad al-Jawad, how did you come through the door?" He says, "The one who brought me from Medina, he brought me through this door." The Imam, he buries his father. But you know there's one other Imam who traveled to bury his father. That was Imam Zainul Abidin on the 13th of Muharram. When Imam Zainul Abidin, he reaches Karbala, he finds the bodies upon the plains of Karbala. He goes in between the bodies until he falls at one body. He says, "Oh father, after you they took the hijab of Zainab. Oh father, after you they took the earrings of Sakina. Oh father, look at the chain upon." You find over there it stated that Banu Asad, they were standing. They would ask the Imam how to bury the Shuhada. The Imam would say, "Make one grave for Habib ibn Madahir. Make one grave for the companions." After that they said, "O captive, there is a body by the Furat. Whenever we pick up the body from one side, the other side it breaks. When we pick it up from the other side it breaks." The Imam, he says, "That is the body of my uncle Abbas. I'll bury that body." After that he says, "Oh Banu Asad, step back, for only a Ma'soom can bury a Ma'soom." The Imam, he places a piece of cloth on the ground. He gathers the pieces of his father. He buries his father. At the feet of his father, he places the body of Ali Akbar. But you know, as he was burying his father, a voice, it came from the cut body of the Imam. The voice, it said, "At-tifal, at-tifal," that where is my child? Where is my baby? The Imam says, "Oh Banu Asad, where is the body of the 6-month child?" He places Asghar on the chest of his father. He writes on the grave, "هذا قبر أبي عبد الله الذي قتل غريب عطشانا على لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين." Ya Allah, we ask through the right of the Musibah of Sayyid al-Shuhada that wherever the followers of Ahlul Bayt are in difficulty, help them. Wherever they're sick and ailing, through the right of Ahlul Bayt, cure them. Ya Allah, give us the strength to learn from the teachings of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, to implement the teachings of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, to spread the teachings of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Oh Allah, grant us the intercession of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad on the Day of Judgment. And Ya Allah, we pray for the hastening of the reappearance of the master of our time, Matam Hussein. Ya Hussein. علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، 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 نبی کے 8ویں گل پیراہن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، وہ جس سے مل نہ سکی ہائے کم کی معصومہ، وہ جس سے مل نہ سکی ہائے کم کی معصومہ، اسی غریب کے ایک خستہ تن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، بہن بھی جس کی جدائی میں مر گئی آخر، بہن بھی جس کی جدائی میں مر گئی آخر، غموں کی ماری ہوئی خستہ تن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، جناب فاطمہ زہرا کا پھول ہے یہ بھی، جناب فاطمہ زہرا کا پھول ہے یہ بھی، کہ یہ بھی جان رسول زمن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، علی رضا کا غریب الوطن کا ماتم ہے، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، حرم کا ساتھ نہ چھوڑیں گی سختیاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، حرم کا ساتھ نہ چھوڑیں گی سختیاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، ہر ایک فرد ہے رنج و محن سے وابستہ، کوئی اسیر سلاسل کوئی رسن بستہ، پھریں گے آل نبی پھریں گے آل محمد کشاں کشاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، حرم کا ساتھ نہ چھوڑیں گی سختیاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، قدم قدم پہ نظارہ ہے ایک قیامت کا، رکے نہ جانے کہاں سلسلہ اذیت کا، پہن کے توق چلے میر کارواں کب تک،
لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، گزر گئی جو دلوں پر بتا نہیں سکتے، فلک کی سمت نگاہیں اٹھا نہیں سکتے، دکھائی دیتے رہیں گے سرو سینہ کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، حرم کا ساتھ نہ چھوڑیں گی سختیاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک، لکھے گا وقت اسیری کی داستاں کب تک۔
یا حسین یا حسین، زلزلے میں ہو کیوں نہ نینوا، کیوں نہ پھر ہلے دشت کربلا، ہائے فوج کی چھین لے ردا، ہائے فوج کی چھین لے ردا، بنت فاطمہ در در پھرے، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری، شیخ کا سر کٹا رن میں بے خطا، شیخ کا سر کٹا رن میں بے خطا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری، دیکھ کر جسے مہر تک چھپے بے ردا کرے، اے فلک اسے روح مصطفیٰ جان مرتضیٰ، روح مصطفیٰ جان مرتضیٰ، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھرے، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری، سر پیشے نہیں مجتبی نہیں، مرتضیٰ نہیں مصطفیٰ نہیں، شہ پیشے نہیں مجتبی نہیں، مرتضیٰ نہیں مصطفیٰ نہیں، وہ بکر نوا کیوں نہ پھر بلا، ہو کے بے نوا کیوں نہ پھر بلا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھرے، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری، زلزلے میں ہو کیوں نہ نینوا، کیوں نہ پھر ہلے دشت کربلا، زلزلے میں ہو کیوں نہ نینوا، کیوں نہ پھر ہلے دشت کربلا، ہائے فوج کی چھین لی ردا، ہائے فوج کی چھین لی ردا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، وا محمدا وا مصیبتا، بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری، دم گھٹا ہوا دل روندا ہوا، گر لٹا ہوا سر کھلا ہوا، دم گھٹا ہوا دل ردا ہوا گر لٹا ہوا سر کھلا ہوا چہرے پہ ملے خاک کربلا چہرے پہ ملے خاک کربلا بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری وا محمدا وا مصیبتا وا محمدا وا مصیبتا بنت فاطمہ در بدر پھری یا حسین یا حسین یا رب حق زہرا توفیق یہ عطا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو یا رب حق زہرا توفیق یہ عطا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو جو عرض کربلا ہے ہر عرض سے سوا ہے اس خاک کربلا پہ شہ کا لہو ملا ہے ہر لا دوا مریض کی یہ خاک ہی دوا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو یا رب حق زہرا توفیق یہ عطا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو میں بھی تو ماتمی ہوں ذاکر حسیدہ کا نوحہ پرا ہے میں نے ہم شکل مصطفیٰ کا اس ذاکری کا میری قسمت میں صلہ ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو یا رب حق زہرا توفیق یہ عطا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو یا رب نماز شب میں بس یہ دعا کروں میں کچھ دیر اس زمین پر مجلس بپا کروں میں ہر ماتمی کے لب پر ہر دم یہی دعا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو جواب یا رب حق زہرا توفیق عطا ہو مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو مظلومیت پہ جس کی روتا ہے یہ زمانہ، اس بے خطا کے در پر ایک بار تو ہے جانا، جو قرض ہے لہو پر وہ اس طرح ادا ہو، مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو، یا رب حق زہرا توفیق یہ عطا ہو، مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو، یا رب حق زہرا توفیق یہ عطا ہو، مرنے سے پہلے یا رب دیدار کربلا ہو۔
صلوات اللہ حبیب توجہ زیارت۔
السلام علیکم یا ابا عبد اللہ، السلام علیکم یا امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیکم یا فاطمة الزہراء سید النساء العالمین، السلام علی الحسین وعلى آل ابن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته۔ السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا، قل شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته۔ السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، أحسن الله لك ما وعد من النصر وظهور الأمر ورحمة الله وبركاته۔ اللهم صل